Good evening. The Gemara in Masechet Brachot, page 32. This is what the Gemara says. Amar Rabbi Elazar, Gdola tefila yoter min hakorbanot. The prayers are higher than the sacrifices. For those who did not know, the prayers came to replace the sacrifices. After the destruction of the second temple, there's no altar, there's no place to sacrifice what you need to sacrifice. Is it recording there? Can you check?
Yes.
Okay, good. So there was no place to sacrifice anymore. So the prayers came instead of the sacrifices. For instance, we do Shachrit, the morning prayer comes instead of the Tamid of the morning. Mincha comes instead of the Tamid of Ben Ha'arbaim. Musaf on Shabbat, it's Korban Musaf. Every sacrifice is replaced with a specific prayer. Come Rabbi Elazar and surprising us. He says, even though it's only a replacement, right, for the sacrifices, how can the replacement be more important than the original one, right? That's the question. Shene'emar, but everything the Chachamim says, of course, they always back it up with the proof, where they bring it from. Everything is based on the Torah. The Torah, the Navi, the prophets. Nothing comes out of their personal feelings. Today, most of the people, unfortunately, answer Torah answers from their heart, with feelings. It's not knowledge, it's feelings, what the heart feels. Hallucinations. You know, his heart feels to do, he does. He feels not to do, he doesn't. His heart feels to give tzedakah to this person, he gives. Doesn't think, maybe it's good, maybe it's a sin, maybe he takes the money and drives on Shabbat with that. Maybe I became a partner to his sins by supporting him. The brain is already is eliminated completely. It's all from the heart. He looks the way you look, he gives you. He doesn't look the way you look. This is what's going on here. So, the pasuk is, Shene'emar, Lama li rov zivchechem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in one of the generation that he was very upset with the nation of Israel, he sends the prophet to give them a very disturbing message. Hashem say, why do I need most of your sacrifices? With this kind of behaving, the way you behave, what good is all these sacrifices? What do you mean what good? The sacrifices come to erase the sins, to make tshuva. That's a part of tshuva, to sacrifice something. But we learn from here that if we are crossing the red line, there's too many sins, and the behaving is very disgusting, it gets to a point that it's worthless already. It's like, what's the point of asking against for mechila, for forgiveness, if anyway I'm doing it every minute? Sometimes a person thinks, why am I going to shul on Yom Kippur? Everything that the vidui has in the prayers, that when I try to repent, I'm going to do tomorrow morning as usual. I'm asking Hashem to forgive me for Chilul Shabbat. Tomorrow it's Shabbat. I'm not going to keep it. I'm asking Him to forgive me from eating not kosher. What am I going to eat tonight after Yom Kippur? Not kosher. I'm asking to forgive my stealing. Tomorrow I'm going to steal from my customers again. I'm asking Him to forgive me for my horrible personality, the laziness, the pride, the ego, being stingy, being angry, and so forth and so on. Anyway, I'm going to do it in an hour. What's the point? This is what Chazal call Tovel v'sheretz beyado. Going into the mikveh to purify himself, goes in and holding a piece of pork in his hand at the same time. Sheretz, or a dead animal. Dead rats. What's the point? So Hashem say, Lama li rov zivchechem. Why do I need all these sacrifices from you? And then right after that, what the pasuk says, interesting. Pareschem kapechem, when you open your hands, when you pray, A'alim einai mikem, vegam tarbut tefila eneni shomea. Translation. After Hashem said, what is all these sacrifices for? You're not going to change, what's the point, right? But he comes right after that, and when you're going to open your hands while you're praying, I will close my eyes from looking at you. It's called A'alim einai. In Hebrew, there's an expression, Ta'alim ayin, pretend you don't see. A clever person not always see everything. Like a rabbi in school, not every little thing that the kids do, you gotta see. Pretend you didn't see. Somebody told me that was great. That was great about Rav Moshe Feinstein. That when he was in yeshiva, one time he went into a room and he see a boy sitting in a room with his legs on the table. Most rabbis will make a very big deal out of it, throw him out of school for 2-3 days, or call his parents. He pretend he didn't see, got out. Because if he will walk in, then he would have to see. So he pretended that he didn't see. So right away he turned around and he left. Not everything you have to see. Same thing, certain things you tell your wife, and sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. And you just told her 5 minutes ago, and again she did the opposite. Pretend you didn't see, because there's a limit to how much criticism a person can take. You break his spirits, that's it. In that moment, he rebel completely. Same thing the wife, same thing the kids, same things your friends, same things everybody. So it says, Vegam tarbut tefila, and if you're going to pray all day, tarbut tefila, besides the 3 prayers that we have every day routine, from morning to night, he reads Tehillim, he prays to Hashem, eneni shomea, I strictly, simply, not going to listen to you. Sometimes I have a feeling that he's talking about our generation. This was more than 2,000 years ago. You pray, you pray, you pray, and sometimes you just think that nothing is happening. Many reasons for it, you know. Sometimes, like I said, the actions are so ugly and so bitter, the prayer should have helped. But when 5 minutes before that you did such a horrible thing, and 5 minutes after you did another horrible thing, it's like a sandwich. You know? You understand what we're talking here about? You're surrounding all your prayers with horrible sins. It's preventing the prayers from being accepted. It's delaying at least. Then, on the other hand, the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, page Nun Daled, page 54, the Gemara says like this: Shlosha dvarim ha'ma'arich ba'hem, 3 things that a person does it longly, for a long time, ma'arichim lo yamav u'shnotav. Hashem stretching his days to be longer and his life to be longer. Ma'arichim lo shnotav, I understand. Instead of dying 70, he lived to 80. We understand. What does it mean, ma'arichim lo yamav? You make his days longer. The day has 24 hours, my friend. Hashem won't change nature just because he wants to give you extra 2 hours a day. What does it mean, ma'arichim lo yamav? He makes your days longer. It means you have blessing in your time. Blessing in your time, which means if your day, you work, you come in to pray 7 in the morning, you finish 8 o'clock, you eat breakfast, at 8:30 you sit to learn, and you learn until, let's say, 12, and then you go to work. So you have 3.5 hours. And your brother is learning 10 days. He's not working. He's all day in Kollel. You can sometimes do better than him in 3.5 hours than what he does in 10 hours. Why? Your 3.5 hours are more blessed. It's this, there's different reasons for it. It's not accident. For instance, if he does more for the public, somebody work harder and teach them, Hashem bless his time very much. That in a short period of time he understands what somebody else takes him 3 times more. Over here the same thing. Someone who prays a lot, You may think, why are you wasting all your life with prayers? Enough! Pray what you have to and learn Torah. Torah is much more important, nobody argue. To learn Torah is at the highest level. So instead of praying all day, just finish in an hour like a normal person in the morning and sit right away to learn. It's bitul Torah, you're wasting time. So Hashem said, you'll be surprised. Yes, Torah is higher than prayers, of course. But if a person pray to me, even the time that was shortened, he will be so blessed that he won't miss a minute. Same thing the Pirkei Avot say, Alomed al menat lelamed, someone who's learning and is interested to teach from what he learned, to share to others. Alomed al menat lelamed, maspikim beyado lilmod ulamed. Hashem bless him to be able to learn fast and to teach to others and not losing from the quantity. Quality is just there, and the quantity, if somebody that learns double time, learn 4 pages of Gemara in a day, full day, you will do the same thing in a shorter period of time. Yeah, you may not see it right away, but after 10 years you see that whatever he knows, you know just as much. Why? Because you were willing to sacrifice from your knowledge, and instead of learning a lot, you share to others, teaching beginners and people. Hashem say, by doing what I want you to do, you can never lose. That's why either I make your life longer, give you extra 10 years that you have enough time to learn what the other person learned, or besides that, every day will have more blessing. And that's what the Gemara in Brachot says, 3 דברים המעריך בהם, מעריכים לו ימיו ושנותיו. המעריך בתפילתו, somebody who prays long, and he makes all the requests and praise Hashem and read quiet, slow, he's not rushing, just to finish. No. Hashem doesn't need readers. They come to read. There's a difference in reading or praying. Reading, you don't have to think what you say, just read. People hear you. To pray means that your heart is shaking. Every word that comes out, you feel it. You feel it. When you say chatati, you feel goosebumps all over your body. You begin to sweat. And one time there was a group of people learning Gemara, and one person at 10 o'clock in the morning got in. He was all like nervous. He asked the rabbi there, I'm sorry to disturb you. I need a talit and tefillin. 10 o'clock, there's no minyan anymore. He comes now, he showed up, they never saw this guy. So he said, okay, here, take it. So that was in Russia. This story was in Russia. A true story that happened. So he went to the corner by the window and started to pray. He's praying with all his energy. Then when he gave back the talit back to the rabbi saw the talit is soaking wet. Almost dripping. There's no water there where he was. There's no faucet. So he told him, I gave you a dry talit, you're giving me a soaking wet talit? How did it become wet? Touching it, mamash, soaking, we can squeeze. He said, for my sweat, I'm very sorry. He said, why did you sweat? It's winter now. It's not summer. Here, you walk 2 minutes on the street. You're dripping sweat. It's humid, July. But over there in Russia, what's the reason you have to sweat there? So he said, I was looking at the Russian soldiers, how serious they're training. And they're doing it for a man. They have a man, a leader, a commander. It's not even here. It's not here. He gave them orders to train. And every day, everywhere I go, I see them training, crawling in the mud, running with their weapon, jumping from the 3rd floor, wounding themselves, screaming, sweating. And it made me very scared. Why? These Russians, these communists that have no faith in God and in any religion and anything you can think of, they're willing to give all their energy and all their life for a man that is not even here, and look how much they're scared from him. I am not scared from Hashem like they're scared from here, from the Tsar. That's why I started to sweat and shake when I realized how bad is my situation. They are afraid of nobody, and I am not afraid of the Almighty. How can I not sweat? The rabbi forgive him that the talit was all sweating. saw that he's a big righteous man. In the beginning, when he walked in late, he was sure, look at this guy, show up at 10 o'clock in the morning to shul. Sometimes there's a problem, it could be an accident. You don't know. If it's every day, it's a different story. So, the Gemara says, one thing is to stretch your prayers and to pray slow, word by word. Second, המעריך על שולחנו. Somebody who sits, when he makes his meal, he stretches the meal pretty long. Not 2-3 minutes and finish. I would think it should be the opposite. Why to waste time on sitting on a table and eating? Eat 5 minutes and run quickly to your learning. That's also true. When you're alone, don't waste a minute on eating. Just eat and finish right away and go to learn, yes. Or go back to what you have to do. But when the poor people coming to eat by you, if you know there are poor people in the neighborhood and they're looking for a place to eat, make sure your meal is long enough to give them enough time to come. Then, one last thing, המעריך בבית הכיסא. When a person goes to the bathroom, he's not rushing out. He has patience to sit until he cleans his stomach completely. Why? For that you make his life longer? No. That's nature. That means he's going to be a healthier person. Keeping the garbage inside for a long time is not good. Person has to go, and when he finally goes, to try to get rid of everything in one time. That's what the Gemara says. Today we know. Medically it's correct, yes.
The environment in the bathroom, it's tumah, so it's not a problem?
Yeah, it's not tumah that sticks to your body. It's tumah that sticks to your hand. You come out, you make netilah, and it's over. It's not like a dead body that it goes all over the body, that you need mikveh now. Or tum'at nida. It's different tumah. There's different kinds of impurities. Not all of them are equal. So we learn here that it's very, very critical the way a person behaves for the prayers to be accepted. And it's true that sometimes a person will pray a lot, but he doesn't think about anything. Sometimes he will pray a lot less, but he will think about the words. Which one is better? To pray an hour without intention, you're not thinking what you're saying. You're thinking about something else. I'm running to the office, and I have a meeting, my wife, I was late, this, that. But you say everything. Or to say less, but to mean every word. What's better? What do you think?
To say less.
Technically, to say less and have kavanah, have intention of what you say, it's a higher level. Because it motivates you. It makes you feel about what you're saying. Praising God, requesting things, you're thinking. It makes you excited. It's waking you up. Just reading and thinking about other things you hear, but you're really not here. Same thing if a person doesn't understand Hebrew. Better to pray in his own language, even though it's not as holy, but at least it wakes up the heart. The goal of the prayer is when you say the words that it has to get your heart to wake up. If it doesn't wake up your heart, what's the point of sitting and reading? That's why sometimes people ask, somebody sent me an email, I want to read Tehillim, I don't understand what it says. I know how to read Hebrew, but I don't understand. So should I read it in Hebrew or should I read it in English? If you read it in Hebrew, there's so many secrets in the words. So it's very holy, because it's the divine language. However, if you don't understand, it's like sitting for half an hour and not waking up completely from the words, not getting excited because you don't understand. It's like reading in Chinese. What's the point? So the answer is to read in his own language, but there's a better solution. To write above every word. Today they have Sidurim that are ready with that. They have translation right above it. Above the Hebrew, they have in English, every word. So you can read in Hebrew and look at the word above. Slow. You get used to it after a while. Slow. You read a few chapters, but every word you look what it means. And it wakes you up. You say it in Hebrew, plus you're learning Hebrew while you're doing it. That's the best thing. Same thing in the prayers in the morning. Even if it takes longer. You know, King Chizkiyahu, 2,600 years ago, he did not want to get married because he saw in a vision that he's going to have a wicked son. And Hashem sent him the prophet Yeshaya. The prophet warned him that his time to die arrived, to prepare. He said, why? He said, because you never made the first mitzvah of Judaism to get married and have children. So he said, what, don't Hashem know that I did it for the sake of heaven? I don't want to have a wicked boy. Who wants to have a wicked boy that makes idols and convince Jews to worship idols? I'd rather die single than to have such a kid. So he's very righteous. But Hashem told him, yes, it's true what you see, everything is true, but you cannot be a partner of me in a creation. When I say multiply, get married and have kids and multiply and all that, it applies to everybody. Those who will have righteous kids and those who will have any other kids. You still have to do this mitzvah. Don't participate in my own calculations. Should I do it? That's my problem, not yours. This is a mitzvah equal to everyone. He realized he made a mistake. He said, okay, I'll make tshuva, I'll make repentance. To make long story short, he got married to the daughter of the prophet Yeshaya, and he really had that wicked son Menashe that became a king after him. He was a very righteous king, and Menashe was a very wicked king. And he put idols all over Israel and convinced many Jews to leave Hashem and to worship these idols. And if you wonder how can a person be such a fool to leave his religion with Hashem and to follow some stupid idol that they made in a factory yesterday morning, how can you come? So I have news for you. They're not that fools as you think. These idols show the miracles in their face, not to ruin the free choice. Of course, if everybody prays to Hashem, right away he gets saved. He prays to the idols, nothing is happening. Nobody will follow the idols. So, not to ruin the free choice, the balance, once in a while these idols also made miracles, which means a person came to the idol and prayed for some miracle, and the miracle happened. Who made the miracle? Hashem. Why? That's what Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu. הרוצה לטעות יבוא ויטעה. You want to make a mistake, it's your problem, not mine. Make the mistake and later you pay for it. When did Hashem say to Moshe? In the beginning of the creation, right in the beginning of the Torah says, נעשה אדם בצלמנו כדמותנו. Hashem spoke in a plural language. Let's make a person in our image. How can it be? Let's do, let's make, like all of us together, like there's, God forbid, more than one God. So who did Hashem spoke to? To the angels. Who make Adam? The angels or Hashem? Hashem. But each angel contributed his own share. There's an angel who's in charge of the water, so he gave the water. Angel in charge of the iron, the metal, so he gave what he needed to give. Angel that is in charge of the sand, so he gave the body. Every angel has a territory that is in control in a creation. So they all gave the ingredients that you need to make the body. Then Hashem put the spirit, the soul, all the things that a person has spiritual. This is it. So when Moshe wrote the Torah, he said to Hashem, please Hashem, change this word. Don't say na'aseh. Say e'eseh. You do it. Why do you make people get confused? They may think there's more than one God. So Hashem told him, write it. Somebody who wants to make a mistake, it's his problem. It's enough that I already said in a few places in the Torah that I'm the only one. There is no other God but me before. Never will be after. There's none besides me. That's enough. It's not enough for them, that's their problem. Same thing we have in Halakha. A very interesting law. It's called Al Yitenu Larasha Veyamut. It's very strange. When you read it, you get nervous a little bit. What does it mean? Every Jew has an obligation to save other Jews from committing sins. Right? If you can save your friend from not making a sin. Let's say your friend wants to go to a disco in Manhattan tonight. And you have a way to convince him to stay with you, and then there's a shiur in your house, the rabbi come and teach, and you can convince him. I don't know, by making him a meal that he likes, give him a few dollars, find a way. He wants to borrow your car, so you don't give him the car, you make an excuse, my car is not good, you cannot drive it. You're allowed to say anything to save him from the sin. Obviously, so you have to. It gets much further than that. I mean, people do not know the laws, but many clever people, they go very deep. They want to know up to when is my obligation to save my friends, my brothers. So, for instance, I saw a question. A person said, I went to my friend's house and I saw a dirty magazine there that he just paid, I don't know, $15 for it. And he went downstairs for a minute. Was I allowed to take the magazine and throw it inside the garbage and he won't know where it is? What do you think? If you take his magazine, you stole from him something, right? But something like this that's going to destroy his soul, not only it's not a sin, it's a mitzvah. Why? You're saving his eternity, in a way. If he wants to make sin tomorrow, he'll make another sin. But right now, you're helping him. The fool doesn't know it. It's his problem. I did what needs to be done. You understand the point here? Or if a person comes to you and is very hungry, mamash hungry. Let's say he's a homeless, begging you, give me something to eat, give me something to eat, give me money, I want to buy something. And you know it's in the area, there's no kosher food. You give him $10, now what is he going to do? He walk across the street to McDonald's, and you know he's a Jew. You're allowed to give him money? No. Only if you know that if you're not giving him money, he's going to die in an hour. Right? If he's going to die, that's a different story. It's called a life risk. Pikuach nefesh, then he's allowed to eat anything he wants. Why? Just to get saved. But if he just didn't eat for 6 or 10 hours and he's hungry a little bit, and he say to you, from the morning I didn't eat anything, it's already 5 in the afternoon, no problem. Starve another 3-4 hours. But I won't be your partner to making you buy non-kosher meat. So there's all the same thing here. I'm going tomorrow to Belgium. And there's a weekend over there. People from all over Europe are coming. From Switzerland, France, Germany, England. You know, people coming from all over for this weekend in hotel. The woman that arranged this from this organization, she asked today a very interesting question. What did she say? She said, we have a couple, a cousins, boy and a girl. And they want to share a room together in the hotel. There's no rooms in the hotel. Or they don't want to take 2 different rooms because it costs double. So they want to be together. Since they're cousins, they want to be together in the same room. So, first of all, cousins can get married, you know. Can get married. Cousin can fall in love. Cousin can make sins. It happens all the time. So I don't understand why they thought just because they're cousin, they're allowed to do it. But now she has a question she says, am I allowed to arrange it for them, which means they give me the money and I order the room for them? I should let them do it on their own. And that's not my problem anymore. They did it, that's it. They took a room, that's their problem, not mine. So obviously she's not allowed to participate in any reservation for them. Even though it's their sin, since she helped them in any way, she's not allowed. That's fine. But then she asked another question. She said, okay, so now they want me to give the telephone number of the place, of the desk. So I told her, depend. What's the law? If they can get it anyway, if it's a famous hotel, you just put it in Google, the name of the hotel, and all the telephone numbers come, so you just save them a minute, that's no problem. They can have it. The sin will get done with or without you. Then you can give them the number. But if, for instance, they're from a different country, they don't know the name of the hotel, and they don't know anything, and by you not giving it to them and hanging up, they just won't know where to come, you save them from the sin, then you're not allowed to give it to them. This is the Gemara use an expression on both sides of the river. If the sin will get done anyway, if the sin gets done anyway, then you don't have a sin. But if the sin will not be done, then you have a sin. For instance, I give you another example. Let's say you want to build a house and you want to sell it. It happens to my friend a few years ago. He closed the deal, they shook hands with some Christians in Far Rockaway. They come to buy his house. Just as they already finished, they agree on the price and the process started, one of them told him, we're going to make that house a church. This religious Jew got nervous. Said, my house will become a church. Church is a place that they worship idol. Who is the idol? JC. JC is a very serious idol. So this is an idol. They take a person and make him the son of God. It's against the 10 Commandments. It's a horrible sin for Gentiles. Not only for Jews to do such a thing. For the Gentiles is against the 7 laws that God ordered them. That's why to be Christian, it's a lot worse than to be a Muslim. Because even though both of them have a phony religion, a man-made religion, at least the Muslims scream to one God and they don't have a son of God or another authority. They scream, Allahu Akbar, God is great. They just claim Muhammad is another prophet. I don't know why, because if you search in the entire Quran, you don't find one prophecy from him. I don't know why they name him the prophet that never gave even one prophecy. Search the Quran, you never find one prophecy over there. So, this is it. But the Christians have a very serious problem. Why? They say that he's running the world, you have to pray to him. They pray to him until this moment. That's a very big sin. It's something that Hashem cannot stand. That's why they have so much tragedies. Oil leak, September 11, earthquake, this, 80. Oh, 80. Speaking about 80, I'll tell you an interesting story that happened today. Yesterday, all day my phone in the house goes on and off. It works for 5 minutes, you make a phone call, in the middle it cuts off. No line. On, off, on, off. What is? I look at the modem, it's blinking, going crazy. You make a reset, it doesn't help. So I made an appointment, they send a technician today. This nice black guy from AD comes in. He comes into the room where the modem is. You see so many books all over the room, the shelves. So I see he cannot focus on his job. He looks at the whole of the books like this for like maybe 10, 20 seconds. He looks at the book. So he say, all these books you have to learn. So I told him, all these books, it's not even 1% of 1% of what I have to learn. He said, how is it possible? I said, that's Judaism, my friend. It's the religion of God. There's a lot to learn. So he said, I'm also a pastor. He wanted to become a priest. I guess pastor is one step before you become a priest. But I didn't finish, he said. I did not finish. We started to talk some religion. Right away I asked him 4 or 5 questions from the New Testament. He started to get confused. But what I like about this guy, unlike many others, right away he admitted. After I showed him about 5 or 6 mistakes, told him, yes, it's a big problem, you're right, it cannot be from God. So we continued to talk. Maybe for about 40 minutes we're talking while he's fixing the thing. So he said, how can I convert? So I told him, oh, you don't need to get converted. He said, why? I want to get converted. That's the truth. Why not? I said, no, you have to keep 7 laws. I'm teaching you the 7 laws that you have to keep. So it's not enough. To do only 7 things for God, it's an insult. I want to do more. I want to do more, he says. As we're going on, I gave him a few CDs, and you see his eyes coming out from happiness. So excited, he gets confused, he leaves the box, he doesn't know where he is. Why is it? When you speak to a Jew, it's not like this. Because the Jews have big Yetzer Hara. The Goy doesn't have Yetzer Hara to hear words of Torah. He enjoys from it, it's like taking drugs, he's in a different world. When a Jew hears it, it begins to bother him. He thinks, well, how do I run out of here? How can I run? This rabbi now is brainwashing me. Why? Because the Satan said, don't listen to him. He's going to get you. Be careful. But the opposite. When there's no Yetzer Hara, the words of the Torah goes right into the soul. I remember I used to go to a Goy Peter in Queens here. He had a kneading factory. They knit sweaters, and they sell to Macy's, to all these department stores. He has maybe 100 employees, all these round machines, kneading, cutting. Once a month I used to go there to meet him. As soon as I walk in, he doesn't care. As far as he's concerned, the company can go on fire. Phones, Peter line 1, Peter line 3, Peter line 4, he doesn't even care. I want to leave. No, don't go. What do you want? You want to eat lunch? I order kosher. Tell me more. Teach me Torah. Why? No Yetzer Hara. When he converts, the problem begins. All of a sudden, resistance. Many of the converts can tell you, before I became a Jew, I heard Torah, I could sit for 24 hours straight and enjoy. Now you put 20 minutes, I begin to get nervous. Why? Now you got Yetzer Hara, my friend. Before you were not obligated, the Satan didn't care. It's not an obligation for you. He leaves you alone. Now when you become obligated, it doesn't leave you alone. Yes?
That's a question back to the hotel story.
I didn't finish that story yet, right? Patience.
Okay.
So, going back to what I started to say, they wanted to buy his house to make a church. My friend's house. Once, if he did not know, it's no problem. Even if later he see a church there, it's not his fault. He didn't know. Now when they told him, it's called Masiach Lefi Tumo. Accidentally, one of them say, we're going to make a church here. They wanted to impress him. So now he has a question if he's allowed to sell them. So what's the halacha? If there are many houses in the block, in the area that they can buy, if not this one, they'll buy this one. If not this one, they'll buy one block away. They're still going to make this place. Then he's allowed to sell them. Because anyway they'll buy. They need a church over there in the area, so they buy that house. But if there's no houses there, it can take 2-3 years until they can get a house in that area. It's a hot area. Nothing is for sale. He's absolutely not allowed to sell it to them. Why? Because he is now became the cause of this Avodah Zarah. He could prevented it and he did not do it. You understand? So you should know a Jew that walks in the street and is pouring rain on him and he has to stop and pray. He cannot focus on the prayers when the rain is falling on his head or on his siddur, and he see a church. So he wants to go to the lobby of the church inside to pray inside. Not allowed. Better not to pray at all than to step one step inside. Or in a Buddhist temple, or Hindus, all these cults. But if you see a mosque, is allowed to go in to hide from the rain. Why? They're not Jewish, but they're not idols worshippers. So speaking to my technician today, I told him, do you know, is it true that in AD you have voodoo, witchcraft, all these things, and idols and statues? He said, yes, a lot. And that's why God punished us. He said. I was afraid to say, he said. I said the same thing in New Orleans. Remember New Orleans? Same thing, voodoo, all these things that they have. It brings anger to the area. Few things get Hashem angry. One is all this magic, black magic, voodoo, idols, all these things. Tsunami, Thailand, India, all these places. And no problems with modesty. Guys and girls making sins. Places like this are subject to tragedies, to nature, hurricanes and earthquakes, like San Francisco. Number 1 in earthquake. Why? Same male relationship. That place get affected a lot, San Francisco. Why? No coincidence. Everything is planned. Yes, now what is the question now?
Oh, the question is this. In the case of the hotel,
Yeah.
even though she's not directly helping them, because say they can get the number easily on Google, but doesn't she have a responsibility to try to stop them, explain to them what they're doing is wrong? And
That's exactly what I was saying. That's called Al Itenu Larasha V'Yamut. Let him hit the poison, he can die, it's not my problem. When you have an obligation to prevent him, here comes the catch. The Torah says, Ocheach tochiach la'amitecha. La'amitecha, Chazal say, amitecha laTorah u'lamitzvot. What's amitecha? My colleagues, my brother. We are in the same category. I have an obligation to improve his way and to prevent him from committing sins. When he has faith and belief in Hashem, and he keeps everything he knows, and now he's about to do a mistake, or even on purpose, the Yetzer Hara surrendered him, and he's about to make a sin, I must stop him. But if he rebels completely, and he doesn't care about Hashem at all, he wants to eat poison, it's his problem, not mine. It goes a lot further. I don't want to say to the camera what, but if I show you some provisions in the Shulchan Aruch, the treatment of the religious people to the not religious people, that what Hashem says that you're allowed to do to them, you go crazy. You won't believe it. And I always tell people, Judaism, it's not feelings. Put it away. Feelings, it's an illusion. It's infatuation. It confuses you. We go by knowledge, brain, sharp, allowed, not allowed. It's painful. Well, I give you an example. Two poor people come to beg for a meal. One is Shomer Shabbat, learning Torah. One hate religion, speaking against Hashem, cursing. And you have $10 in your pocket. How do you share it with them? Two Jews.
10-0.
10-0. Or 9.75 and a quarter. That he won't... No, not a joke. Not a joke. Why? When I give tzedakah, I want to create something positive in the world, not something negative. Give you another example. Two people wants to borrow your car. One drives on Shabbat, one Shomer Shabbos. Who you have an obligation to give it to, in case you don't mind to give it to? Not the one that looks better or is a better friend of yours. Doesn't go by feelings. This one will not drive my car on Shabbat. This one will. I'm not giving it to him. Same thing your parents. Your father asks you to buy him cigarettes. If not, he gets very upset. You're not allowed to buy him cigarettes. You're not allowed. Or to buy him McDonald's. Go to the restaurant, buy me a cheeseburger. Not allowed to buy him. You bring him, now he's going to make a scene. I get upset. It's not my problem. Hashem comes before him. But if he tells you, just go buy me kosher cheese now. I want to make myself a sandwich. You must do it. Go buy me glad kosher meat. It's 3 miles away walking in a very hot day. You have to do it. That's called respect to your father and mother. If your father tells you, get in the car, I'm driving, don't worry, not allowed. Oh, you're getting me angry. You and your religion. Too bad. It doesn't go by feelings. It goes by what's allowed, what's not allowed.
But still there might be a distinction. In the case of the two cousins, clearly they're just ignorant. They're not trying to do mamash nus. They're just ignorant of the hilchos yichud.
Yes.
Whereas a person is always cursing Hashem and anti-religious. There you see clearly he's a Russian Marusha.
Fine, everything has to be considered. It's not black and white. Sometimes, the greatest rabbi in history, when they were in yeshiva, they didn't answer the same answers to all people. I give you an example. One time, Chacham Ben Zion Abba Shaul, Zecher Tzadik Vekadosh Libracha, maybe 20 years ago, before he passed away, he gave a shiur about the obligations of learning Torah. And he says, in one place, the Rambam says that a weak person has to sleep 8 hours a night. Person that is old or sick or very weak, pneumonia, I don't know. He needs to sleep 8 hours a night. If not, his body will collapse. A mediocre, not strong but not weak, 7 hours a night. And a strong guy, 6 hours a night, but not less. Because the brain needs 6 hours of rest from 18 hours of functioning and recording and taking all the information. It needs to settle. You need to sleep 6 hours. First 2 hours, some of the information goes to the brain, recorded. Then 2 more hours it's processed. And then the last 2 hours it gets saved and finished. That's it. And another place the Rambam says, based on the Gemara and the Zohar, Lo nivra alayla ela kedei she'asku bo b'Torah. The light was not given. It was given for what? For learning all night. When a person sits and learns all night, he has a special line of kindness and mercy from God directly on his head, which he doesn't have it if he learns during the day, which means it's a higher level of learning. So the rabbi asked, so what's going on here? Here you tell me you must sit at least 6 hours a night. And here you say, did you ever think to waste the night on sleeping? Sit and learn all night. So the answer is, depend who you are. If you are an ordinary person, like 99.999% of the people in the nation of Israel, Then they must sleep, they go to work, they go to learn, whatever they do, but they need to sleep. But if he's a person that accepted on himself that I do not belong to this material world, I don't care about anything, not about food, not about jewelry, not about cars, not about clothes, not about house, nothing, none of it is interest me. You give me a palace, you give me a little shady room, for me it's the same thing. You give me the best mattress, the worst mattress, I can care less. 1 suit or 10 suits doesn't matter for me. Watch, I don't have watch. Everything you give me is the same for me. Why? Because my mind anyway is inside the Torah 100%. Once my mind is 100% in the Torah and the holiness of God, I cannot connect to anything of this false materialistic lifestyle. Nothing. Somebody like that, you want to go and sleep at night? I saw in one of the seminars, maybe 12 years ago, Rabbi Cook from Tiberia. There's Rabbi Cook. He has many, many tzitziot on his head, on his body, I'm sorry. And before I saw him, people were saying that he doesn't ever go to sleep. Ever. What does it mean? How can a person never go to sleep? He falls asleep while he's sitting. Let's say he learns. After a few hours, he falls asleep 10-15 minutes, he hears noise, he gets up, he continues to learn. But he never go to lay down on a bed or on a mattress or anywhere. I couldn't believe that in our generation something like this possible. But then I followed him in a seminar in a hotel. They invited him to bless the seminar. Maybe 150 secular Jews. They invited him as a guest with the Gemara to sit there and learn for the success of the seminar. So all night, I was one of the speakers there, so I have to be the last one who goes to sleep until everybody finished with their questions. So about 2 o'clock at night, Friday night, when everybody slowly disappeared, I go to the big room, the dining room, I see him with the Gemara learning. For him, there's no day, no night, all the time learning. Then, another hour later, still learning. In the morning, we come into the shul, I see his head is down. As soon as the guy said the first bracha over there, right away he got up, continued to learn. That's his life. A person like this, what do you think? He was born like this? It's a very hard work of many, many years to build this character, to be like this level. Very big level. It's not so simple. These people, when they pray 3 hours, he starts his prayers here and he finishes over there. It's not here. I heard that over the years that his knees cannot take the weight anymore from standing hours every day like this. Even professional athletes do not use their legs like he did, because they have a career of 10, 15 years and it's over. Then they rest. But him already 50 years like this, 40 years, from morning to night. Standing, sitting and praying and learning without sleeping, it makes the whole body weak. This is people in our generation. So I remember when I went to him, told him, Rabbi, after I was so impressed from what I saw, can you give me a bracha? So he asked me, what do you want me to give you a bracha for? I said, give me a bracha that I'll be a tzaddik. That it will be easier for me to be a tzaddik. So he said, no, it's not a bracha, it's a curse. So I said, why? He said, it's supposed to be hard. If it's not hard, there's no reward. So I said to him, but still, you know what I mean, no? It's very difficult. So at least I'll be able to do it. He gave me a different bracha than what I asked. I asked something stupid, he gave me the right bracha. You have siyata dishmaya, you'll be able to handle all your challenges. People that looks like us, only in the body, but the soul is already from a different place. So anyway, I started to speak about Menashe. Menashe, the son of King Chizkiyahu, he was born and he put tons of idols. Later, his grandfather, the prophet Yeshayahu, prophet Isaiah, said something that he did not like to hear, one of his prophecies. And he searched all over him to kill him. His own grandfather, that is the main prophet of the generation, for the whole world. Not only he puts idols, he's going to search for his chief rabbi, the prophet Isaiah, to kill him, and guess what? The prophet is running around and he made a hole inside the tree. They dig the inside of the tree and he lived inside the tree. That he won't know where he is. And somebody told him, and he went with a soldier and they took a big sword and they cut the trees to slices with his body inside. That's how he killed his grandfather, prophet Isaiah. Can you believe such a thing, such a rasha? In the end, the Goyim caught him and they put him inside a ball of metal with fire underneath. Imagine if you stand in a metal ball, like they have in a bagel store, a kettle. But over there it's boiling water. It's also very bad. But when you heat the kettle itself, and now you have to stand with your feet, imagine what's going on here. So he was calling all his idols to save him. All of them went to sleep. First idol is snoring. Second idol is very tired today. The third idol has a flu. Every one of them went to sleep. So then he screamed, the God of Israel, the God of my father, if you are really like they say you are, if you save me out of this situation, I make tshuva, I become religious, and I correct everything that I did. So what happened in the end? The ball, from the heat, started to rise. It went all over. The Goyim standing over there, they cannot believe what, they never saw such a thing. So rising from the heat, and started to fly. And landed somewhere. And he saw that it's the obvious miracle. So he made tshuva. Before he died, he made tshuva and regretted everything he said. But the question is, now we have a problem with him. Listen to this. The Gemara says, in the book of Kings, Kings Bet, Melachim Bet, the second part of the Kings, 21, chapter 21, they describe all the bad things that Menashe did. And they do not mention that he made tshuva before he died. Nothing about it. They just say that he was wicked, and they give you the impression that before he died like a normal wicked person. They don't say anything about his tshuva. But in the books of Divrei Hayamim, in the end of the Tanakh, Divrei Hayamim, how do you say Divrei Hayamim in English? Divrei Hayamim, chapters of the previous time. Divrei Hayamim Bet, the second part of Divrei Hayamim, chapter 33, verse 11. What does it say? That after HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the army of Ashur, Ashur was a massive nation, and they caught him and they put him in this metal ball as I just described, and he started to scream to the God of his fathers, and Hashem listened to him and saved him. Then he made tshuva. So now, when the book of Kings, who wrote the book of Kings? That he did not write that he made tshuva on purpose. Who wrote the book of Kings? Prophet Jeremiah. Yirmiyahu. Yirmiyahu on purpose did not write in Kings that Menashe made tshuva. He didn't want to write it. The prophet. That's what the Gemara says in Baba Batra, page 15. Why? Because we have a rule in Judaism. If you are wicked, you are a sinner to yourself only, that's one category of being wicked. But if you influence others to leave God and to go against the Torah and against the mitzvot, that's a much, much, much worse level of wickedness. Completely different. It's not so simple to make tshuva. Why? The Torah says, "Amachti et harabim, אין מספיקים בידו לעשות תשובה." Someone who influences other Jews to make sins, it's almost, I say, almost impossible for him to make tshuva. Almost impossible. Where else does it say that it's almost impossible to make tshuva? A person who made a sin with a married woman. Also almost impossible to make a repentance for that. We always have to say the word almost, because tshuva everybody can do for everything. But there's so much less siyata dishmaya. Tshuva, a person can never do on his own. He can only choose to do tshuva sincerely. And based on his choice, Hashem helps X amount of help. 50%, 70%, 90%, 99%. So when Hashem comes to help a person that wants to make repentance just between sins that he made between him and God, there's a lot of help. Why? It's not so difficult to correct. It's your file only. But when it's you and another 5,000 Jews that are sinning because of you, because you taught him that they came from the monkeys, and there's no God, or there's no Torah, or the rabbi is making it up, or Moshe was a liar, or God forbid, all this nonsense that they say, there's no resurrection of the dead, don't believe, all these things. Even if you change your stupid way, what about all your students that are committing sins every day? That's very difficult. That's why it's almost impossible for Hashem to accept you fully. There's less help. It's a lot harder. So, it says like this. Because when the prophet Yirmiyah wrote Kings, there were so many Jews that worshipping idols that Menashe taught them to do. The prophet couldn't write that he's a tzaddik. How can I write a tzaddik? People will kill me. So many rabbis in a generation see students making idols in the middle of every town, and I'm going to write that their teacher is a tzaddik? Cannot write such a thing. But later in Divrei Hayamim, which is hundreds of years later, his tshuva finally got accepted. After all the suffering that he went through to pay for his sins, finally Hashem accepted him. And because of that, they wrote in Kings that he made tshuva. That's just to give you an explanation how many years it took him to correct. It's not so simple. I always said, the same way you can save a soul and you benefit from every mitzvah that they do, if you destroy a soul, you pay for every sin they do. Every sin they do. It's enough that you had a friend that is in yeshiva and you convince him to come out and to go into business. Even you didn't mean bad. You didn't want to make him not religious. You just wanted him to leave the learning of Torah and he can come and work with you in a business. Something like this, 10 years later, he became not religious. Because it's very difficult to be religious if you're not learning Torah every day seriously, especially in this generation. It's almost impossible to be tzaddik without massive amount of learning every day, for male and women. Even though women connect to Hashem through the heart, through feelings, emotions, but still they also need to learn Musar, to work on their modesty. If a woman won't learn what's going to be with her, if she continues to dress the way she is, most likely she won't change. When is a woman considered to finally get rid of all her designer clothes that attracts a lot of negative attention on the street, provocative? When she finally will read to see what's going to be her end. And when she sees it, she says, oh, wait a minute. Is that worth it for me, for an hour attention that I get on the street from all these dirty psychos to get this? Doesn't make sense. Then she begins to change. Some women don't need it. They do it out of love for Hashem. When they realize there's Hashem and Hashem is upset with the way I dress, so they do it. I'm not saying everybody needs to know the punishment. But I'm telling you from what we see throughout history, and from my experience, and I have a long experience with talking to people, until a person does not realize what's going to be his end, it's very difficult to see a major change in his lifestyle. Even those who pretend that they become religious. You come 10 years later, you see they're still in the same level. So you have to, it's a combination of love and fear. You have to bring them the beauty of the Torah and to make them love the Torah. But at the same time, they have to realize, my friend, you're not going to change fast enough. There's a heavy price to pay. There's no mercy. You have to realize. The Gemara says, Hashem says, Kol ha'omer, HaKadosh Baruch Hu vatran yivatru me'av. A Jew that dare to say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will forgive me for my sin, just like that, without tshuva, because he's merciful, they will chop his me'aim, his stomach, to pieces. It's an expression. Because he say, Hashem will forgive me. He said, no, not only will not forgive you for the chutzpah and your stupidity that you think that Hashem will say, okay, 7 years of sin, you're a nice guy, yalla, you can go. It doesn't work that way. Why it doesn't make sense? Why not? So what happened? Okay, so the judge say, you know what, you're a nice guy, go. Oh, you're a nice girl, yalla, go. You're stupid, no, you're not really evil. You just didn't have the head. Go, I'm forgiving you. What's the problem? It's great, no, that you have such a merciful judge. Because how would the righteous Jews would feel when they see that that's going to be the end? A Jew that to age 20 changed his whole lifestyle, gave up stealing, gave up sins with the ladies, gave up lying, gave up so many things that he wanted to do in his life for the truth. And every day fought with his evil inclination, every day, sweating just to do the truth. And when he made a sin, he cries and he asks for forgiveness and he prays. And this guy, beach, vacation, stealing, drugs, from one girl to another, doesn't do any, all his money, stolen credit card, violating Shabbat, worshipping his idol, kissing the feet of Buddha every morning. Same. Oh, Hashem say, you nice guy, you go to heaven, and you also join him. Then what do you need a Torah for? It's all a lie to begin with. It makes Hashem a liar. That's the problem. Even if he wants, he can't. He can't. Why? It's enough that one time you will let a guy like this go free, then the entire Torah becomes a lie. And the most important foundation of Hashem is the truth. Chotamo chotam emet. Hashem, it says in the Torah, Ani el ha'emet ve'atzedek. I am the God of the truth and the justice, that will never take any bribe and not twist the justice for anyone. Everybody get precisely what he deserves. And that's why if you count on Hashem mercy to say, you're a nice guy, I love the way you look, I let you go. That's not going to happen. And that's why I always say those cults among Judaism that goes to Jews and tell them, don't worry, everything will be fine. The Rebbe promised, we're all going to have heaven when Mashiach comes. Don't worry, they are lying and they are twisting and modifying the Torah, and their punishment is endless. Even if they have black hats and nice beards. Their punishment is endless. Why? Because they take the children of Hashem and convincing them to feel good about their sins. You can continue to live with Christine and eat hot dogs with cheese every morning and continue to drive on Shabbat. That's okay, just give us few dollars for our causes, that we can put some more signs on the street and everything will be fine. These people, I'm telling you, remember my words. They're going to pay the heaviest price, more than the sinners themselves. It's called Mechazek Yedei Ovrei Avera. It's a provision in Shulchan Aruch, which means a person is wicked, but you give him a lot of respect, you make him stay wicked. Why should he change? The rabbi bow down to him and give him the first row in a shul just because he writes a check once a month. How do you expect him to change? Everything is perfect. Look, the rabbi is kissing my hand. What else do you want? If I want, I let the rabbi get off the stage and I take his chair on the stage, but it's okay. First row, it's okay for me, the VIP. You understand? Don't believe that nonsense. It's all written. Today, somebody sent me an email with an article. Believe it or not, I'm embarrassed to say it. It burns my heart to say it. I tell you what, if I would see this guy, I don't know if I'll be able to hold myself not to choke him. A gay rabbi, you heard such a thing? Gave a speech somewhere. And they put him in a secular newspaper and everybody bowed down to him. All the wicked gays. Why? Because finally somebody with a beard is saying what we want to hear. Of course we love him. What did he say? I encourage all the rabbis to be more understanding to the gays and to their culture and to their needs. It's enough criticizing them. All kinds of nonsense. The Torah taught us to love your fellow brother like you love yourself. You have to accept everyone with their problems as they are equal to you. All this nonsense. So I couldn't hold myself. Usually I don't waste time on writing them answers. I wrote him such an answer. I said, if God has nothing against gays, please tell me why he gave them the worst punishment in the Torah. Death by execution, by stoning, with no mercy whatsoever. Tell me, please, why I didn't say to love them like you love yourself? So right away, you call him doing what they did, take them to die immediately. That's, by the way, a proof that even if they have desire for their own kind, it's true, obviously they have a desire that is different than the normal men. Normal men attracted to females. They have desire that is different than nature. So even if they have it, even if they're born with a strong desire, or even if they developed it later, there's no difference. The fact that Hashem say to give them such a severe punishment, it means that it's 100% their fault. If they didn't want to make the sins with their own kind, it's in their hand. If it wasn't in their hand, there would not be any punishment. Hashem never say to punish a person that has blue eyes. It's not in his hand. Hashem never say to punish the midget. I made him a midget. Why to punish him for what? It's not his fault. Hashem never say to punish a woman because she's a woman, or a man because he's a man, or someone that has blonde hair, or someone that's stutter. For what to punish? They're not guilty of anything. If there is punishment, must be the cause is a sin. And if the sin was not be able to be controlled, why Hashem punished? No, it's not my fault. Obviously, it's 100% their fault, and stop believing this nonsense that they're spreading all over to justify their filthy lifestyle. And I told one of them once, the same way you have desire to a man, there is thousands of Jewish kids sitting in yeshiva in their 18, 19, 20, 22, 25, 27, or even 40, that have very strong desire for girls, and they're holding themselves from not making sin, and they're dying to get married, and they see girls on the street everywhere they go, and their friends getting married, and their heart is burning from the desire for this woman, and they are not doing it because it's against the Torah. Same thing you have to do. They have desire for her, and you have desire for him, but it's the same desire. Your desire is not stronger than his desire. He does not touch the girls, you will not touch the guy. Plus, you can have psychological treatment to get out of it. With Hashem help, I took 3 of them out of it. And one of them once called me and said, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. 10 months after I spoke to him for a whole night. He said, I'm getting married. I never saw his face, and it was all anonymous calls. He made sure never to show me any number. But he said, I can't wait for the moment that I will take my wife to my home after the night of the chuppah. I just can't wait. So in 10 months period, after I gave him list of advices what to do, Baruch Hashem, he got out of it. The Torah told us one thing that we have to always remember. The Torah says, unlike what people think when I love something, I would be attracted to it, and I would love to do it, and I will be successful in it. I like to play guitar, so I'll be the best guitar player. I love sports, so I'll be a great basketball player. I love meat, so I'm going to eat a lot of meat. No, it doesn't work that way. Of course, whatever you are attracted to, you run after. You don't need to be a genius to know it. Everybody is attracted to what he loves. But the rule in the creation is that a person can train himself to love everything he wants. Even if right now he hates it, he cannot look at that. He can train himself to fall in love with that and to be addicted to it. Take any food you don't like. You cannot look at that. Some people hate sushi, some people hate eggplant, some people vegetarians, they don't like meat. No, take the meat away from me, I can't even smell it. Anyway, I make a deal with you. send these people to me. I'll offer them a huge amount of money that I don't have, but just for the argument's sake. I offer them a big amount of money that in 3 months they will begin to eat this. And because of the incentive, they will start training themselves to love it. So in the first time when they eat it, they vomit. Second time, they spit. Third time, I do it with my kids. If he doesn't like food, kids don't like anything besides junk. If I want my kid to eat, I promise him a prize. When he sees the ice cream or the candy, so now he's thinking, should I eat or not? So I give it to him, he runs to the garbage and he spits. So no, you want it? You have to eat. No, he's crying. In the end, he eats. All of a sudden, a week later, he asked for it. He got used to it. Everything he can get used to it. Everything. That's why, if a man that has this problem wants to love women, it's in his hand 100%. He's going to convince himself to do it. And if not, he doesn't want to handle it. Some of them say, no, it's impossible, I cannot change my nature, this is the way I am. Baloney! I give always an example for myself. I couldn't look at eggplant. As soon as my mother used to make it, I just looked at that, I couldn't see it. When I went to the army, every day eggplants, nothing to eat. Eggplant like this, eggplant. I give you a box of eggplants, everything eggplants. This guy's cooking this guy's cooking. Some of the food in the army is so horrible. Like, for instance, they give you meat in cans, like the tuna cans. It's 3 years on the shelf. They put all kinds of preservatives. When you open the can, I promise you, it smells like a dead cat. That's how it smells. I'm not lying. It's called loof. It's the biggest joke in the Israeli army. Loof, it's called. You cannot even, it smells like shoes. Like somebody who sweat all day with his side. That's how it smells. I ever believed that I'm going to eat that meat until I joined the army? If you give me anything when I was 16 to eat this, I can't even look at that. When there's nothing to eat, what do? You burn it, you clean the gravy, you wash it a little bit, you burn it, not to feel the horrible stuff. And then a year later, everybody said, when are they bringing the loof? We do it this way, we do it this way. You get used to everything. You get used to everything. That's what the Torah says, אחרי הפעולות נמשכים הלבבות. After the actions follows the hearts. Not after the hearts follow the actions. No. Like everybody thinks it's the other way around. You don't like mitzvat lulav in Sukkot, you're a billionaire, you have a $70,000 watch and you're driving a $200,000 car, and now they put you in a lousy sukkah, and they tell you go like this with the lulav and you feel embarrassed. Don't worry, it's only the first year or two. 7 years later, you walk with everyone, oh, Shana. Right? You get used to everything. Look at the converts. That's the best example that I'm right. Converts. One from Mexico, one from Haiti, one from Korea, one from Gaza. How all of a sudden, in a year or two, he became a rabbi? Learning Gemara, beer, peot, looks like a satmer, peot like this. Already some of the converts in Monsey speak in Yiddish accent. Burich. From Mexico, you don't even hear his Mexican accent anymore. Mamash like a satmer Hungarian Jew. Never know he's a convert. Never know. If he wouldn't tell you, you never know. Jamaica, you know, that is a convert. But some converts, it's hard to know. If they're Chinese, Korean, Japanese, black, then you know they used to be going. Now they're Jews. But some, like Italian or British or all those, you can look Ashkenazi, German, you don't know. Once they look like Jews, they look like Jews, finished. Bottom line, it's not about the look, it's about how a person changed completely his entire lifestyle. There was an Italian Guido on the beach, walking like this with his tattoos, and a year later you should see him in a prayer. How can it be? If he did it, the gay can also change. You know what's the difference between them? One really wanted to be holy, and the other one wants to continue to make sins and to cry, it's not my fault. We all cry that it's not our fault. And different things. And he also cried. It's not my fault, it's not my fault.
Yes. The Jewish press 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
a Jamaican fellow who was a street boy. and then went to Hollywood. He's a musician, and he became wealthy, but he had emptiness in his life.
Yes.
Became a chassid, converted, with black hat in the Jewish press, looking for a Jewish woman, to get married. Amazing.
I see in Monsey some movie stars that became Hasidic. Among them, Stephen Hill. You know Stephen Hill from Law and Order? Go check in the old Law and Order. The main actor, the detective over there, was Stephen Hill. You should see him how he looks today. Black hat, complete Hasid. He's my neighbor in the neighborhood. And also Murdoch from 18. The crazy one, the 18, the 4 guys with the van. The one that was making the faces, supposedly. You should see him, Hasid. Tell him, I don't know. I never saw it, so I don't know. Yeah, he's making faces, he's crazy. One of the 4. 18, you don't know 18, the show? Machine guns, fighting. Murdoch, whatever his name is. Famous. Very famous. See him on Shabbos walking with his hat. Some of them were lucky enough to see the emptiness in their life and to do something about it. The other ones, instead of do something about it, they run into drugs. Almost every celebrity is in deep drugs. Almost everybody. It's very rare to find one of them that is not addicted to drugs. Why drugs? Drugs make you forget your depression, make you forget your loneliness, supposedly for X amount of time. Then later you feel even worse. That's why they commit suicide, many of them. That's a lie. Remember one thing, and we'll finish with this. Remember one thing. There are 3 categories in life. There is something that it's sweet, it's delicious, but it's a lie. There is something that it's the truth, but it's bitter. It's painful, it's bitter. There's only one thing that is delicious and good, and it's also the truth. What are these 3 categories? Something that is delicious and fun, but it's a lie. Drugs, alcohol, that's a person feeling I'm in a moon. That reminds me, one time I had a lecture in Staten Island. Maybe about 30 or 40 guys and girls. I speak for 2 hours, not one beep. All of a sudden I say something, everybody started to laugh. One guy got up, he went like this. I'm a Superman. Everybody got up. Yeah. So the guy said, you didn't realize, I wanted to tell you in the beginning of the lecture, they're all under drugs. They all took drugs, pills, before you came. So they're not even listening to you. They're sitting here, they're in the moon. Now all of a sudden this guy decided that he's Superman, he started to scream. So they were in the moon for 2 hours until the drugs goes away. So drugs, you feel good for a few hours and then it destroyed your life. It's not the truth. You lose your money, your marriage is over, you cannot run a house, children, you cannot go to work on time, you cannot be successful in anything. It destroys your life. And it makes you more depressed, and sometimes, most of the time, it ends very bitter. Either committing suicide or being homeless. You lose all your friends, your family. I don't have to tell you what drugs are. But while a person does it, he feels good. Then it's the opposite. Feels bad, painful, but that's the truth, like vaccine. When you join the army, you take your pants off, they come with a needle like this, for 3 days you cannot walk. Why? It saves life. In a place, bathroom, people, germs, it saves life. Without that, there are many casualties, problems. So that's vaccine. There's only one thing that is also the truth and it's delicious, that's Judaism, nothing else. But the point is that in the beginning it's not so delicious. It takes time to get used to the taste. You understand why? Because if it would be delicious from the first moment, everybody will do it. Even the Nazis would have peos and Sefer Torah every day. If it's delicious right away like drugs, so of course, as soon as you taste, that you become a tzaddik. There has to be a period of trials. Difficulties, I don't like it. I don't connect. Rabbi, it's too much for me, hard for me to think. Torah, Rashi, Tosfot, this food. 3 months later, oh, Shabbos, I love it. I got used to it. When is the next Shabbos? I had the best Shabbos of my life. Takes time. Once you're in the system, you're in it for good, Bezrat Hashem. But you have to efforts. We have to put more efforts. It's hard to live in 2 lives. 1 leg in the real world and 1 leg in a phony world. As the autistic used to say when we used to go to see them, the autistic kid. Why do you live in 2 opposite worlds? Few hours in a day you're a tzaddik, few hours you're a complete goy. Why? He wants to live on both worlds. To watch dirty things, to go to the place to dance a little bit, and to go to Shiur Torah at the same time. You gotta choose a side. What's the problem? 50-50 is better than nothing, no? No. Because the 50% of the bad contaminate the good also. I give you an example. If you have 1 glass which is all water and 1 glass which is all poison, black, dirty, poison, dirt, if you mix between them, even few drops from the dirty poison into the water, even few drops, a whole thing of water became black. That's why you cannot drink it. It's horrible. Half and half, the dirt always make the clean also dirty. You understand what's going on here? So in order for you to purify yourself, first you have to clean the entire utensil and then to put pure water inside. Putting Torah and putting your Christine girlfriend that's waiting for you at home and you pretend that you're tzaddik, you come to shul for shachrit with your jeans and gel in your hair, fine, it's good for 4 or 5 months in the beginning. At one point you have to send Christine to her mother in Vilna. It's about time. How long? No, Rabbi, I will convert her. We love each other. But that's not going to be a real conversion. She's not converting for you, for Hashem. She's converting for you. If you tell her, I want to be Muslim, she'll be Muslim with you. She doesn't, there's no problem. A minute after she met that Israeli guy, I'll convert for you, don't worry. What did she care? They don't understand what religion is. Even this guy that was by me today, pastor, I showed him that he doesn't understand the most important concept. That for him, it doesn't really matter who wrote the New Testament. They're not even thinking about it. It doesn't matter that there are mistakes there. They don't see the point. That's the religion, and I have to decide. I want to be religious, I want to be with God, and I'm taking it. But I said, wait a minute, here, I just show you 5 mistakes. Can God make those mistakes? He said, no, cannot make such mistakes. So God didn't write this book. So he's thinking, smiling like this. Yeah, you're right, but how come I never thought of it on myself? Where was he for all these years? Nothing. People are not thinking. Like a robot. Like all the dead fish are coming to the beach. How do you know which one is alive and thinking? The one who swims against the waves. Not the one who goes with all of them to the beach. They're all dead. So they all go in the same direction. One that swims to a different direction, he has his own opinions. I want to go here, I want to go there. I'm a free man. Not following everyone. Like look at the ladies today. All of them are slaves. Slave of one horrible, filthy designer that designed their clothes. One wear, the other wear, the third, the fifth, the third, million, 5 million, 100 million women wear the same thing. Why? That's the style. Where is going to be this Goya, this Gentile? Forget Judaism, it's religion. It's forbidden. Where it's going to be this Goya that say, I don't want to wear these clothes? It's filthy. It's not style. It's not class. It's dirt. How can I look like an animal on the street that everybody look at me like an animal, like a naked animal? No, I'm a woman and I have to look decent. Like the Queen of England. You ever saw her with bikini or short sleeves? Ever a picture of her? She will never agree to take a picture with short sleeves. Why? I'm the Queen of England. Somebody will put on a newspaper a picture of me with my shorts or with my pajama or something? Or to dress like this on the street or in a ceremony? No, never. Always a hat, always jackets, always... She dressed like a Rebbitzin. Without religion, she's not a religious woman. Why? Common sense. My position obligates me. But every woman should be like this. You don't have to be the Queen of England to dress like a human being. You understand? And even when I spoke to this guy today, when he wanted to tell me about some of the scenes that were happening in Haiti, my son just walked in. My little son is 11. So he said, can you go 1 second? I was smart enough not to talk next to the kid, this thing. That was a clever guy. A person that can be 1, 2, 3 holy. He can be a holy Jew in a year. Why? He loves God, he's decent, he's a good person. All you need to do is to teach him the ABC and he's in. He knows all the Torah. Everything I spoke to him about the Torah he knew. He knew the sin of the spies, he knew the exodus of Egypt, Pharaoh, he knows the whole story. He learns the Torah better than the secular Jews in America and the secular Jews in Israel. Much better. They do not know 1% of what this guy knew. You understand? And I have another guy that sends me 3, 4 emails every day, and he keep asking the question, why God did it to me? Why he made me a goy? Why? Now I'm stuck, I'm married to my wife, I have children, now I have to, in order for me to be a Jew, I have to leave them, my wife doesn't want to hear about it, she makes fun of me, making netilat yadayim. He's already keeping mitzvot, he keeps Shabbat, so the wife laughing at him. Because a Christian doesn't understand what does it mean to live like a Jew, because by them everything is allowed. You can be religious and do whatever you want, it's fine. Give $50 to the father every few months, everything will be fine. Judaism is a way of life. How you tie your shoelaces, it's a law. To start from left or from right, it's in the book of law. Who cares? No, it's important. It's disciplined. How to eat, what to eat, what you're allowed to leave, what you're not allowed to leave. If a place is filthy, can you say a bracha? So many things. They don't have an understanding what it is. So now the poor guy is working very hard. He wants to work extra 11 hours overtime to save some money to pay $50 an hour for somebody to tutor him over the phone about the Torah. To work extra 11 hours a day to save some money that he can pay to learn Torah. And we beg people, come for free, come to learn. No, Rabbi, there's an NBA final tonight. Imagine in a trial that Hashem show you that they invited you to a good Torah class and you see you screaming, yes, yay, winning, the basket, I'm so happy. Then when you face the truth, you will not know where to hide. When they show you, we gave you diamonds and you went like a monkey to jump on a ball. Yeah, yes, a piece of leather went into the net. I'm so happy. I feel like jumping from the window from happiness. No? And worse than animal or not? Sure. But sports to begin with. Humanity invented a way to humiliate one another in a kosher way and to get paid for it. You win, the team that lose cry, everybody laughs at them, you are winning. You humiliate him and you are getting paid for it. Until you go to hell. Over there you regret all the payments that you got. The goyim, they allowed sport, no problem. But I'm talking about the Jews. The Jews who does it on Shabbat and 20,000 fans come with a car to cheer for them in a game, they have big problem. Why? Because that's what I said before.